To start, you need to make a magic ring. I've currently made my magic ring and I chained 2. This chain 2 is going to count as a stitch. So now we need to make a total of 12 double crochets into this ring. So that means I'm going to add 11 more double crochets into this ring. So this current stitch I'm making will be the second stitch. How to do a double crochet: yarn over, in through the ring, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2, and that's how you do a double crochet. So I'm just going to continue going all the way around. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the last one, 11. Okay, so that's how many we need. We need to make a total of 11 stitches, and now we're just going to pull on our tail. Okay, pull it as tight as possible and you've got like a ring. Now we're going to slip stitch into the top of that very first stitch, well, the beginning of that very first chain that we did. So at the top of the stitch itself, that's where you're going to slip stitch, and you've got your circle. You can always just pull on your tail to make it tighter, and there's your circle. Now we're going to go into round 2. For round 2, you're going to do 2 chains, okay, into the next stitch, you're going to do 2 double crochets into that. Okay, into the next stitch, you're going to do another 2 double crochets. Into the next stitch, another 2 double crochets, and this is the repeat. So into every stitch, you're going to do 2 double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so to finish off round 2, we are going to go into that very last stitch from the chain we started with. So the very last space there, I'm going to do a double crochet to complete the 2 double crochets needed in that space. Okay, I'm just going to go at the top of the chain 2, so not the chain 2 itself, the stitch after that, on top of that, and slip stitch. That's row 2 done. Now we're going to go into row 3, which is the same thing, chain 2 into the next stitch. Okay, so this space here, one double crochet, and into the next one 2 double crochet. Okay, so this is the repeat. 1 double crochet into the next, 2 double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, so into the next stitch it will be 1 double crochet, into the next stitch 2 double crochets in. I will continue and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I am now at the end, and I ended at a double crochet, a single double crochet. Now I'm going to go into that very last stitch again, doing a double crochet and slip stitch at the top, not the chain 2 itself, but at the top of that. Okay, and that's row 3 done. For row 4, we're going to chain 2. Okay. Into the same stitch here, underneath. 1, 2. Okay, so into the first stitch there, second stitch, a double crochet, and into the next stitch, 2 double crochets. And this is the repeat. So 1 double crochet, into the next, 1 double crochet, and into the next one, 2 double crochets. So it's 2 singles, well, you know, two double crochets into the next stitches, and then into the third stitch you would do 2 double crochets. So into this one, double crochet, into the next, double crochet, into that third one, 2 double crochets, and that's the repeat. I'm gonna finish this and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so now we're at the end, and yeah, your work will be curving a little bit, don't mind that. I'm going to go into the last stitch here, and I ended at my second double crochet, so this would be my third to complete this double crochet. And to complete that, at the top of that chain 2 that you did, and slip stitch. This is the 4th row. To go into your 5th row, chain 2, and it's basically, you can see a pattern coming up now, right? So into the next stitch, a double crochet, into the next one, a double crochet, into the next one, a double crochet, and into the 4th one, 2 double crochets. Okay, so now the pattern is 3 and then 2 double crochets. So I'll call it 3 1 3 1. Okay, but that one is 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, and that's the repeat. I'm gonna just do this one more time with you. So into the next stitch, double crochet, into the next one. Oops. So this is the second one. Third one. And double crochet into the 4th. Okay, we're going to repeat that pattern. So 3 1 3 1 3 1. Okay, and on the 1 is a double crochet times 2 into that same stitch. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, currently at the end, same thing we do with every end so far. Into that very last stitch that you can see, and slip stitch at the top. Okay, so that's row 5. Row 6 is the last one that we'll be doing increases. By the way, what we've been doing with adding 2 double crochets into the first or the second or the third or the 4th stitch so far is increases. So we've been increasing the circle this whole time. So now for the 6th row is when we are going to be done with our increases. So the same thing we've been doing this whole time. into that very first hole, 1 double crochet, and you've guessed it, we're going to be doing a total of 4 single double crochets, and into the 5th one is the increase, which is the 2 double crochets in the stitch. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and into this 5th one, 2 double crochets. Okay, gonna repeat. Into the next stitch, 1 double crochet, so this is 1. Into the next stitch, 2. Into the next stitch, 3. Into the next stitch, 4. Oops. The hole was so big I thought it was the next one. Sorry. Okay, so let's count it. And this is how you view if you're going the right way. So this is currently the double. 1, 2, 3. 4. And into the 5th one, double crochet. 2 doubles. Okay, so this is what we're going to be repeating all the way around once again, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm at the end again of my 6th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to, same thing, at that very last double crochet and slip stitch at the top of the previous row. Now for row 7, which is also our last row for this color, I will be joining on the 8th row. Okay, I'm going to actually, for the 7th row, instead of going into that same space you've been going into, the very first one at the top there, you're going to skip that one and go into the next one. Okay, and you're just going to do a double crochet all the way around. So there is no more increases. Your increases stop at row 6. So I'm just going to go all the way around and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm now at the end of my 7th row and I'll be doing 1 more double crochet into that very last hole that you can physically see, and then I am going to start off a slip stitch. Okay, then I am going to join my silver color wool, because this is the row you're going to change colors. I'm just going to hold it at the back here, quite sturdy. Okay, yarn over, pull through to complete the slip stitch that we started. Okay, and what you're going to do is cut off the end of your stitch, which I've already done, of your previous wool color. So now you have these 2 strands at the back, and I'm going to weave in as I go with my strands. So I'm just going to bring them forward. So next you're going to chain 2 for row 8. Same thing you did with row 7. You're going to skip that very first stitch, because for this it's that very first one that's with the chain. You're going to skip that one and go into the next one, and you're just going to repeat a double crochet all the way around. If you're going to, you can either not weave in if you don't like to weave in your ends as you go. I just find it easier right now, so that's why I do it. So I don't have to worry about the pesky little ends once I'm done. And I know when I'm done with my work, I'm done with my work. but you don't have to weave in your ends as you go. I just choose to. Okay, so I'm just going all the way around with this color as well. And at some point I'll stop with my ends, I'll cut it off as long as I want it. So that's up to you. So I'm just going to continue and I'll meet you once I get to the end. Okay, so now I'm at the end of my gray and I'm going to go into the very last stitch where the chain was attached. Okay, and I'm going to start a single slip stitch, but I'm not going to complete it because now I'm going to change color again. So I'm going to grab my blue wool, okay, attach it to the back, pull through both loops. I'm just going to pull on this a little bit so it tightens. Okay, I'm going to cut off the gray wool from the previous work. And once again, weave in my ends. Once again, you do not need to do this. It's just preference. Okay, chain 2, and I'm just going to go all the way around again and skipping that very first stitch you see, going into the next one, doing my double crochets all the way around. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Just double crochet all the way around and I'll meet you at the end again. Okay, once again I am at the end here and we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows. I'm going to go into that very last stitch again and repeat. Start off your slip stitch. Cut off your end. Change of color. Okay, so for this the 10th row, I'm just going to bring this forward again. For your 10th row, you're going to I'm going to do from my 10th row to my 13th, so 10, 11, sorry. From my 10th row to my 12th row, I'm going to basically do the same thing that we've been doing this whole time. Okay, so it's going to be 2 chains. If you have your ends, go all the way around, and when you get to the end, into this last stitch, you do your last stitch into that and you slip stitch into the current, well, not this current one, the one after this that we're going to do, the top of that, the top of this, and then you're going to slip stitch into that and then you're going to chain 2 and repeat again. So from row 10 to row 12 you're going to do 3 different 3 rows included in this silver color. And I'll meet you when I need to change color again, which is on the 12th row. Okay, so I have gotten to the end here and now I'm just going to be changing color. Same way we change color, pull through. Okay, I'm gonna cut the end of my silver and I'm gonna pull on these, bring it forward. Okay, and I'm just going to do 1 row of this navy, just 1 row, the same way into that second stitch, going all the way around. Okay, so this is what my work looks like so far. As you keep going, it's going to keep bending. Let me just show you what it looks like folded over. Okay, so that's what it looks like currently. So once you're done with this row, we're going to do another silver row, then we're going to do a navy row. So you know how to change color. I'm just going to go all the way around. You're going to change color from the blue to the silver. Okay, then you're going to change color again. For that change color, I'll meet you when I need to change color again back to the blue. So right now it's blue, then it's going to be a silver row, and then I'll meet you at the end of that silver row. Because, yeah, there's information I need to give through. Okay, so I'm going to go around once again. I'm going to go around with this blue, with the blue currently. Then I'm going to detach this and add my silver row, and I'll meet you at the end of that. Okay, so we are currently on row 14. I'm just going to add my next color. After you finish the slip stitch, you need to change color. Haha. Okay, so I'm just going to change my color. Gonna cut off the end of the silver one. And for this blue, you want to complete a total row of 10 from here. So this would be from row 15 to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So to row 24. So from row 15 to row 24, you're going to work double crochets all the way around in the color blue. Okay, or your first color. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I'll meet you at the end of my 24th row. Okay, so I have currently completed the 10 rows from here of the blue that we needed to do, currently on the 24th row, and this is what the beanie looks like so far. I'm now going to be adding the silver wool again. We're going to complete a total of 30 rows. Okay, I'm gonna weave in my ends. So I'm just going to do one row of this. So I'm just still going all the way around. I'm going to weave in my ends, and I'm still going to continue from that second stitch, doing double crochets all the way around like we've been doing this whole time. Okay, so I'm currently doing a silver row. I'm going to go silver, blue, silver, okay, then 2 blue rows, and I'll meet you after that. Okay, so the repeat is, just to repeat myself, I'm currently doing a silver row now. You're going to attach the blue next, then reattach the silver again, then attach the blue again for 2 rows after that. Okay, so, and then I'll meet you after that. So it's silver, blue, silver, and then 2 rows of blue. Okay, so I'll meet you once I am done with that setup. Okay, we're back, and I have added the silver we're working on at that time. The blue, silver, and 2 rows of blue. Currently, we're at 29 rows all together. It will bunch up at the top here, doesn't matter. Now we're going to finish off on the 30th row with single crochets. But before we do that, I'm just going to finish this to the very last stitch. slip stitch. Okay, chain 2, and into every stitch we're now going to do single crochets instead. Okay, so single crochet into, don't yarn over, into the loop top, two loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Okay, that's a single crochet. You're just going to do that all the way round, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, we're at the end here now, and I am just going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 2 that we did, where the chain 2 is. So that second chain on the chain 2 is where you're going to slip stitch into, and then I'm just going to do a chain, I've already cut my yarn just to tie off the end. Okay, here is what the beanie currently looks like. Yes, the seam does run weird, but naturally when you wear it, it doesn't really show. That's what the back looks like, and there's the front. Okay, normally you would wear it this way because it's a fold over, that's why it's so long. It's a fold over beanie, so it usually has a rim that you fold over, and that's what it looks like with the fold over. Okay, you would want to obviously weave in the extra ends that are there, and yeah, there's the beanie. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay well.